here we are. Ladies and gentlemen and boys and girls and everybody in between. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm shooting this first thing in the morning. I am waking up and we are doing full glam today. If you're new to this experience, to this moment, to this face, my name is Malcolm Soaries and this is my YouTube channel. The month of June is Pride Month, so I'm doing all rainbow content on my YouTube as well as my Instagram. This week is dedicated to the color blue. We got the blue marble going on, it's a moment. I have something blue on, it doesn't necessarily match the backdrop, but it's fine. I'm gonna be doing a blue eyeshadow look today, which is something that I have done a few times in the past. Is this lighting okay? Okay, this is actually a romper. It's cut a little bit low, as you can see. I love a scoop, plunging, revealing type of moment in the décolleté area. You guys love it, it's fine.
The men love me, the women love me.
Today we're doing blue eyeshadow, so this should be fun, this should be interesting, this should be educational. Today we're going to be talking about everything LGBTQ, we're going to be talking about verbiage, we're going to be talking about language, and I am going to be answering the burning, most anticipated, most curious question that all of you have. Am I single? Just kidding, that's not the question. But yes, I am single. There's actually no burning crazy question. I'm just gonna be talking about gender identity and sexuality and common questions that I do get asked. We're gonna educate ourselves today. I feel like educating the girls. So it's early in the morning, like I said. I've got my tea. I'm spilling tea, I'm sharing secrets. Well, not really secrets. We're gonna talk men, we're gonna talk dating, we're gonna talk situationships, messiness. We're just gonna talk. We're gonna get glam and we're gonna talk. So I haven't moisturized my face. I actually haven't done anything to my face. So I'm just gonna start with some primer water, the Smashbox Photo Finish. I'm just gonna blend that in. So I thought what would be interesting is if we go through the acronym of LGBTQIA+, just talk about each letter. Honestly, I know what each letter stands for, but I'm not always very well versed in explaining what each one actually means. So some of these I might just end up looking up myself just to give you an accurate definition. I'm gonna use the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. I only used this once, but I like the consistency and I like really tacky skin underneath my foundation, and this definitely does that. I'm just gonna bounce this in. Literally, my skin feels not sticky, just tacky. Before foundation, however, I need to color correct. My color corrector is not here. You know, hold please. Okay, now I'm gonna color correct. This is that LA Girl Pro Conceal in the reddish shade. I used this in the yellow video as well. I'm using this concealer to cover up dark circles, to conceal my beard area, any blemishes. I'm just gonna blend this out. So let's start by talking about LGBTQ. I'm not gonna give you the Mariah Carey version of the acronym. Obviously, we start with the letter L.
So we got L, legendary.
Which is for lesbian. We love lesbians. Lesbians are fun. Lesbians are everything. Lesbians and gay guys get along very well. I feel like because there's not much competition there. You know what I mean? Like we can go out together and you're looking for one thing and I'm looking for another. You're looking for salmon and I'm looking for filet mignon. So it's fine. Love lesbians. Okay, for foundation, I'm gonna use the Too Faced Born This Way foundation in the shade Spiced Rum. This was a shade that was collaborated on with Jackie Aina. She actually curated this shade especially as part of the extension of shades that they added onto this foundation. My shade match ended up being one of the extended shades. So then we go to the letter G.
G, gorgeous.
G stands for gay, if you didn't know that. Get your life. Also, in terms of categories, it's not necessary or encouraged to put somebody in one specific letter or one category. You know, lesbians and gay are obviously under the same umbrella. Lesbians identify as gay women. I know there's a lot of confusion about terms and about verbiage and calling somebody the right thing, but there is some overlap in terms of the acronym. I identify as a gay male. I am gay. I'm gay, 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 gay. I'm like gay, gay. Okay, I'm just gonna add one more pump. I knew that I was gay when I was 5 years old. Can you believe? It freaked me out, honestly. I had a crush on a very specific boy in my kindergarten class, and every day at recess, I would chase him. Like, diligently chase him. Oh, jeez! Until he gave me the time of day. Wow. Full circle moment. Still no man, but still looking. Okay. For concealer, I'm going to use my Tarte Shape Tape concealer in the shade Deep Sand. I'm also going to use the KKW Beauty concealer in the shade number 12. So we're going to start with the Tarte Shape Tape. I think I might put the KKW Beauty directly over it, or maybe I'll blend out the Shape Tape first and then put KKW on top. I'm just gonna let that sit, and we're gonna apply a contour color. This is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r concealer in the shade 495. I'm gonna add cream and powder bronzer over this contour. Powder bronzer. So I'm not gonna apply a lot of this contour concealer. When I contour my nose, I usually just put it higher up, just on the top of the bridge of my nose, and then I'll just blend it down the sides of the nose. I used to put 2 like landing strips, but it just creates more time to have to blend. Sometimes it can get really dark on the sides, and then the contour doesn't look as seamless or effortless. So now I just put it on the top, and then when I blend, I'll just bring it down. Whew. Oh, good morning. So now let's go to the letter B.
B, beautiful, all of you beautiful people.
B is for bisexual. I feel like in the community, bisexual people get a really bad rep. Not necessarily a bad rep, but I definitely do think they're misunderstood. Only because people tend to have this perception that bisexual people are just horny for anything that's walking, which in some cases might be true. But bisexual just means that you play for both teams. You go both ways. You play with every color in the crayon box. I like to play with every color in the crayon box. However, I'm not bisexual. I'm on one team. I'm a starting 5 player on my team. I also feel like there's a total double standard for women being bisexual and for men being bisexual. I know a lot of people who believe that it's not possible for a man to be bisexual, like he has to pick one or the other. I really don't believe in that. What I will say is, I think that it's important if a man or a woman is bisexual, that they are openly bisexual. What I'm not here for is the down low community, and we'll get more into that in a little bit. Bisexual people to me are really the most liberated of anybody in the community because they really don't see gender as a limit to who they're attracted to. I think that women can be bisexual. I think that men can be bisexual. I live for all of it. And again, this is just my personal opinion. The YouTube channel says Malcolm Sorries. Don't get your panties in a bunch. Everything's gonna be okay. Okay, now we're gonna blend out the first layer of concealer. Okay, we're moving on now to the letter T.
T, tantalizing.
T stands for our transgender community. If you're using anything other than trans or transgender, inappropriate and very 2003, so you really need to update your terminology, period. In my experience, so I was very young, already tapping into my feminine side. I grew up playing basketball, which is considered somewhat of a masculine sport. But I also had this feminine side that I couldn't really figure out when I started learning about trans and seeing examples of trans people. I started thinking if that was something that I was interested in. Being like girly or being into girl things is against the status quo, it's against the norm. So I didn't know what it meant, the fact that I had basketball practice in the afternoon, but at night I was sneaking Britney Spears CDs into my room and practicing the choreography in my mirror. Because Slave For You was everything to me. And I can still do the choreography to this day, don't even clock me. But you know, I realized that I wasn't trans the more that I learned about trans people. I actually developed a real love and sympathy for the community, because if you think about it, I mean, I was 5 years old just dealing with the fact that I had crushes on boys. Imagine being 5 years old or any age and feeling like you're trapped in the wrong body. I mean, it sounds like torture to me, literal torture. I can't imagine it. So I really sympathize with trans people because that's a lot. I can't tell you how many times I'm asked if I'm trans on dating apps, on social media, and I think part of it is just the full glam of it all, the femininity of it all. I am not trans. I never plan on transitioning. That is not my journey. But like I said, I have an immense amount of respect for the trans community. What I will explain though is the fact that I do identify as gender non-conforming, also known as GNC. What that means is I do not believe in adhering to the stereotypical gender roles of boy or man. I do identify as a man. There's, see, now we're getting into the real terminology. Like, get your notepads, get your pencils, get your dry eraser. So as gender non-conforming, I don't see things as that's meant for boys and that's meant for girls. For example, shopping. Everyone knows that I wear menswear, I wear women's wear. Any fashion person kind of understands the appeal and the trend of unisex. Now, I have friends who call me girl this, girl that, guy. I don't have a preference with pronouns, which I think is important to ask people. I've been asked that by coworkers, I've been asked that by friends, what pronoun do you go by? What pronoun do you prefer? And I'll just tell them whatever you like, whatever you feel like. I can be your real boy Pinocchio, but I can also be every woman, and that's on Shaka Khan. Okay, so now we're gonna add the KKW Beauty Concealer over. In terms of gender and in terms of sexuality, there is what we call a spectrum. So you can be on one end of the spectrum where you really identify as one thing heavily and you stick to that. You can be in the middle of the spectrum where you dabble. Gender is also different than sexuality. So as gender non-conforming, I'm not saying that my sexuality is non-conforming. Like I said, I am gay and proud. I am the starting point guard for the gay tune squad. I do believe that gender is a social construct. I really am not into, little girls play with dolls and little boys play with trucks. I'm not a parent. I really respect people's prerogative and their preferences. I'm just speaking from my personal experience. If or when I have a child, I am not going to dress them one way just because. I'm not going to have a boy and then just put him in dresses just to be rebellious and whatever. But if I had a son and he showed me a skirt at a store that he wanted to get, I would just get it for him. I wouldn't feel weird, I wouldn't feel awkward, because I don't see gender as a rule book for how you should behave, what you should buy, what you should wear. But not everybody's that progressive, and I also respect that. Okay, I'm gonna bake now with the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r setting powder, and then we'll get into the eyeshadow. Once I learned about the term gender non-conforming, I was like, that's literally me. I don't want to conform. It's insane how many men ask me if I'm trans or if I'm a drag queen. And And I get the makeup can be a little confusing, or I'm not gonna say misleading, because there's so many boys in beauty nowadays. I mean, one of the richest makeup influencers in the world is a man.
That's a man, Maury.
I'm gonna bring you guys a little bit closer and we'll finish the rest of the face as well as our interesting chat. Okay, so for eyes today, I'm gonna be using 3 different palettes. Okay, so I'm actually gonna go in with the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define, the Longwear Concealer in the shade C12. This is actually a really light concealer, so this will help with all the pigment we're about to put on. Okay. So I'm gonna start with the Warrior 3 palette by Juvia's Place. I used this palette in the yellow eyeshadow tutorial that I did. There's a blue shade in here called Gola that I think will be an interesting color to put in the crease. First, I'm gonna put some bronzer in the crease because I need like a nice, easy transition color. I'm going back to Makeup Revolution. This is one of their new bronzers, the Revolution Glow Splendor Ultra Matte Bronzer. This is in the shade Dark. I love this bronzer. It gets a little bit chalky in the pan, but it's so pretty on the skin. I love this shade, and I love that there's a mirror in the pan. It's nice and big too. I'm just gonna pop this in the crease. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with that blue shade Gola. This is really like a sky blue. I think we're gonna have to stamp this one as well. So what letter are we on now? Oh, so the next letter is Q.
And even Q for quality. Okay?
Q stands for queer/questioning. I'm gonna address each of those separately. Queer, by my definition, kind of includes the entire community. Like, I'm queer, you're queer, we all queer for queer. Queer to me is just the other, not being normal, and being open about not being normal. I think that queer is unique, queer is beautiful, queer is strong, queer is independent. Love that. Now, when we talk about questioning, there are a lot of people who are not sure what they are. They're on the fence, they're on the border, they're literally questioning what they're into, where they lie on the spectrum of it all. And I think it's good to question yourself. I think it can be healthy. What I don't think is healthy is being on the down low. For example, a man who is married to a woman but is on Grindr hitting up boys, trying to hook up with them on the low. It's very double life, it's very secret agent, it's very Mission Impossible. I've had experiences with down low men trying to slide in my DMs, trying to message me on dating apps. I think it's important to differentiate questioning with down low. Living a double life does not make you questioning. I am not an advocate for misleading people, you know? It's just really not a good look. I've had bad experiences with down low men. My friends have had some bad experiences with down low men, which really hurts my feelings because, you know, I feel like at the stage that I'm at, I can pretty much kind of gauge who's on the down low, whose eye is kind of shifting, but sometimes even I get fooled. And I don't like that because one of my best friends got fooled by a guy that she was dating, and I got the wool pulled over my eyes as well. And I was very upset about that because I feel like somewhat of like a protector of especially my girlfriends, because there are a lot of predator guys out here who are on the down low. It's insane. Just know that I've had my plenty fair share. I've had guys start full conversations with me, asking me, you know, when was the first time that you knew you were interested in guys? And like, I can already tell off the bat that they haven't come to terms with who they are, which is fine. Everybody has a journey. but at the same time, you know, don't make a mockery of it. Okay, I'm happy with this blue. I'm probably gonna go back to it. The next palette that I'm gonna use is from Morphe. It's the 35V Artistry palette. There's a great section of blues in here. Just a matte navy blue. And I'm gonna put this underneath that sky blue color. Is it sky blue or like baby blue? I don't know. But we're gonna go in with a navy and put it underneath the first blue we put down. Maybe this isn't the right brush. There we go. That's what I wanted. More precise line. Okay, so we are back to stamping. I don't want to sweep away that first blue color. I want both colors to be seen and blended. I'm gonna fix the other eye in a moment. Don't you worry. I feel like it's an aqua blue, that first blue color. Okay, class, who can tell me what the letter I stands for? I stands for intersex. So basically the parts that you have are not congruent with your sex that you're assigned at birth. You know, it is somewhat of a confusing topic, and I'm not an expert or a professor on the matter, so I'm not going to give you a full breakdown PowerPoint presentation with bullet points and everything. But it's important that we know at least the basic definitions of these terms. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the Juvia's Place palette, to that first aqua blue Gola color, and go back over. It's pretty. Aquaman could never. I really feel like giving mermaid fantasy. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the deeper blue again and deepen up the crease. What I'm actually gonna do now is go to my actual eyelid area, and I'm gonna lay down a cobalt blue that's a little bit lighter than the second blue that we used. I'm just gonna use like a little packing brush. Yeah, I'm gonna put this all over the lid. I actually think I'll do like a partial cut crease because we love the shimmer. We gotta do the shimmer. Shine bright like a diamond. So I'm just patting that blue. Okay, now we're gonna go back to the second deeper blue in the middle. Just define it. I'm also gonna start adding more on the outer corner. Do you guys hear my stomach? Oh my god. These makeup looks I'm doing for Pride Month, I really don't do in my usual everyday routine or even when I go out. This is not my usual tease, but happy Pride Month. We're gonna go back to that first aqua blue and just go back over it. With eyeshadow, the keys are blending and repetition, in my opinion. It's not easy and it's time consuming, especially with a look like this, but beauty is time. Beauty is money and beauty is time. Before I go to the lower lash line, I am gonna start adding just a hint, a little smidge, just a little bit of black on the outer corner. This is kind of like my go-to move because I pretty much just smoke out every color that I put on my eyes. Just blend it in with the blue, just on the outside. Ooh, that went out a little far, didn't it? Was it too far? I'm just gonna clean this up with the first blue color. You can always fix a mistake. That's what I love about makeup. It's like, it's fine. If you haven't realized that that's one of my life mantras by now, then you haven't watched enough videos, but it's just like, it's fine. You gotta clean it up. Clean it up! So now I'm gonna go to the bottom lash line. I'm gonna go in the same order of blues. I'm gonna start with the same brush with the first blue. Then I'm gonna go in with the second deeper blue. I'm gonna go a little bit tighter under my lash line. Connect it with the outside. Okay, now we can cut the crease. I'm gonna take a little bit of that light Makeup Revolution concealer that I used to prime my eyelids. And And I'm just gonna carve out a section on my eyelid to prepare for some shimmer. But we have another letter. The letter A stands for asexual. If you've never heard this term before, it's not very frequently used, I feel like. I feel like it's another term that we don't hear about a lot in the media or in conversation, but basically asexual refers to somebody who is not inclined to let me just read the actual definition. Asexuality is the lack of sexual attraction to others or low or absent interest in or desire for sexual activity. Asexual people, I feel like, aren't just open like gay people, like, oh hey, how are you, I'm Jeff, I'm also asexual. I feel like it's just something that you kind of grow to learn about somebody. Actually, I can think of somebody who is probably asexual. A also can stand for ally. I actually learned that myself. So allies of the community are friends, are family. All of my close friends are allies of people in the community, and we have the pleasure of choosing who our family is. And for me, my friends are really considered my extended family, and that's how I feel about allies as well. While I let that dry a little bit more, I'm gonna glue my lashes. I'm gonna use the same lashes that I used in the yellow look. A, because they're stunning. B, because I think they're the only lashes that I have right now.
It's on what it was on just now. I didn't move the lens at all.
This is the Makeup Revolution Glow, I think it's called. The packaging's really pretty. It's gold, it's glittery. That blue shimmer shade in here is exactly what I'm going for. It's literally the only shade in this palette that I'm gonna use. This is my first time using this palette. I sprayed the brush. Whoa.
Whoa.
We got some different hues of blue going on here, but that's kind of what I wanted. Ooh. This is very easy to apply. With a sprayed brush, it comes out really pretty. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a gradient from that blue shimmer into the darker blue on the rest of the lid, just because I feel like the shimmer blue is so vibrant. I'm gonna go back into the Morphe palette, into more of a cobalt blue and a navy blue shimmer. I'm dipping into both. I'm gonna spray the brush and dip again. And I'm gonna go next to the first blue and just add it on. See? Do you see the gradient? Wow. A lot of these looks I've never done this look before. So I'm really on here just like experimenting. Okay, so now we have to go back into the crease because if you can see, the shimmer is now moving. So we go back to the first aqua blue, going back to our steps, go over everything. Oh, hello. Okay, then we go back to the second blue, deeper navy, go in the middle. Whew, okay, I'm going to apply some eyeliner, pop on some lashes, and then we'll finish the face. And look at the final look. Using a small compact magnifying mirror really changed the game for me in terms of putting on lashes. Okay, lashes are on. Let's finish this face. I'm gonna start by dusting off the bake, all of that excess powder. I'm gonna set the rest of my face with a loose setting powder by Beauty Bakery. This is their flower powder in the shade Cacao Brown. I've used this powder to bake before. I love the formula of this powder. This time I got a color that's my skin tone. To set the rest of my face, just set everything in place. I'm gonna add some cream and powder bronzer to my cheeks just to deepen up that contour a little bit. I'm gonna use the Fenty Beauty Cream Bronzer in the shade Chocolate. I hit the sides of my nose. Then I'm going to that Makeup Revolution Powder Bronzer that I used in my crease as my base for my eyeshadow. Just going over that. Remember, anytime you use a cream or a liquid product, you want to set it with powder. For highlight, I'm actually going to go back into that Makeup Revolution eyeshadow palette. I'm going to use one of these shimmers in the palette as a highlighter. It's really convenient to just use what you already have in your palettes as eyeshadow for your cheeks. I always go up into my forehead for that angled highlight moment. The nose. I'm just gonna spray some primer water on top of this. I am gonna do a lip today. I'm just gonna do like a neutral brown lip. I'm gonna use a liner. This is the NYX lip pencil in the shade Espresso. And I'm gonna use the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipstick in the shade Malt. This is a really good brown. Oh, this is my first time wearing this shade. This is such a good neutral. Ooh, sultry, chocolatey. I'm gonna go in with some gloss. This is the NYX Butter Gloss. It's kind of light, but it's pretty. Also smells bomb. Ooh. She's feeling the fantasy. I didn't do an inner corner. Wow. I'm just gonna pop. It's like a chrome silver blue right in the inner corner. Yeah. Okay, now that is the final look, guys. I loved doing this blue eyeshadow makeup. This look is super fun. It's super glamorous. I smoked it out a little bit. I love the nude lip with it. I hope you guys enjoyed this makeup tutorial moment. I'll link all of the products that I used in the description box below. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you guys think of this blue moment. Do we like this better? Do we like the yellow better? If you saw my pink and purple, I Dream of Creamy moment, did you like that better? What has been your favorite makeup look so far that I've done? Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for enjoying. Thank you for loving. Happy Pride to everybody celebrating, to all of the allies. Oh wait, we didn't address the plus in LGBTQIA+. Thank you to everybody for watching. I hope that you learned something in this video, whether it was makeup related, whether it was gay related. We talked about a lot. We covered a lot of categories. We're always clocking the girls on Instagram and kikiing and cacaing, which is great, but I kind of wanted to have a real, honest, genuine conversation about the acronyms, the verbiage, the terminology of it all. It's a lot. But thank you for watching through this entire video. Thank you for being a supporter of me. If you're not a supporter of me, I hope you're a new supporter of me. Please subscribe and like this video. And until the next video, until the next experience, until the next beat, until the next moment.